afternoon. I'm Thomas, and this is my channel. This is going to be my bug out slash basically camping bike packing bike. There's been a lot of this kind of stuff on the internet these days, topics to be covered in chats and whatnot, so I just thought I'd put out what my bike is. So here we go. This is a Motobecane. It is not a Walmart bike. It's been a pretty good bike so far. It's not the most expensive on the market, but it's not the cheapest either. As you can see, I've got a few things on it, and it's not in its original out-of-the-box condition. So we'll start at the front here. As you can see, got a handlebar bag on it. I pretty much put anything in there. I found the best thing to put in there is your toilet paper, bug spray, things like that. Basically, there's just quick and easy access. It's also got another little bag on the front of it, a zipper on the front. Yeah, I might keep a few tools or keys or cell phone or something in there. That's quick access, so that if you're bike packing and you have one of those, shall we call them, special moments, and you need to get that toilet paper out quick, then you're going to want it in this front bag. Up and over here, I've got a 2400 lumen light. Basically, it has been confused with an automotive light at one point or two in the past. Very powerful. Of course, it steps down. I forget what the step downs are. I think it's 1200 and 800 lumens maybe, I don't know. But very powerful. It does clip off of there so that it can be used at the campsite and then put right back on when you get ready to ride again. The handlebars, those are not the original grips that came on the handlebars. I did replace those because the ones that were on it were basically digging into my hands, and so these are got a lot more cushion to them. I don't know what these things on the side are called, but they are really nice to have. They give you a second point of grip when you're just cruising. They're wider apart, and yeah, I just like them. On the center mass, I have another set of bags. I keep anything in there that I just want fairly quick access to, including the battery for the light. It does have a battery to it. As you can see, I keep a sweat rag on top, which comes in very handy. I have a center bag, which I basically keep all bike tools with. I have an extra tube in there, anything that I would need to get this bike back on the road if something were to happen. This thing is a 24 speed, and it's got enough punch to it to get you into and out of a lot of trouble. On the back here, I have what most people call saddlebags. They're called panniers on bicycles. I've got extra hat there, and there's a pretty good amount of room in these saddlebags. You can conceivably put an ultralight tent or something along those lines in either one of the bags. The seats on most bikes that are better than Walmart, more professional line bikes, are horrible seats, and the first thing that most people do is replace the seat. Okay, this is a Schwinn Walmart special. It's a big fat guy seat. I am a fat guy. I have a big butt, and I want to be as comfortable as I can on this thing. So I replaced the other seat with this seat, and so far it seems to do good. If I ever lose weight, then maybe I'll put a smaller seat on it, but I don't really see the need to. It does have disc brake on it, which I'll talk about that more in a minute. Disc brake on the back, and again on the front. The pedals that come with most bikes are, generally speaking, junk. Some are not, but for the most part they are. So I replaced these pedals with a better quality. It's got these little notches on the top that stick up to grip your shoes so you don't lose grip when you're in the wet or mud or whatever. This little thing right here goes with this device up here. Basically, it's a mileage counter, and it keeps up with how far you go on the bike. The only thing I do not like about this particular mileage counter is that it's in kilometers, and there is no option for miles on it. So you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt and do the conversion in your head as you're going along. And it's fairly accurate. So in general, that's the bike. It is a 29er. And how you come up with that is it's 29 inches from the base down here to the top of the seat stem. 24 inches, that same distance will be 24. 27, that'll be 27. It does have larger tires on it, because 29ers are expecting somebody, I would say 6 foot tall or more on it. So you have plenty of wiggle room. A couple things about bikes in general, I guess. You'll notice that it's leaning up against a pole and my big wood stove. Well, that's for a reason. Most bikes that are either top of the line, medium of the line, or generally pretty good bikes do not come with kickstands. So you can get a kickstand to put on it, and it would mount right along this bar here. Everything is quick release. So this is the release tab to the wheel, and on the front, and on the seat. So you can pull it all apart pretty quickly on the trail, and you really don't need tools to get a wheel off. Like I said, there's been a lot of talk about Bugout bikes, and I've looked it up, and I've done a pretty good amount of research on them. The real thing that you need to know is there's a fitment to bike. You have to fit yourself to the bike. You have to adjust that seat so that your legs are extending to the right amount. You have to make sure that your arms are at the right angle to the bike, otherwise you're going to hurt your back. I have one of those back brace things that I used on a job one time, and yeah, I got a weak back, and I put that on, to help support my back, because the tendency of bicycles in general, of mountain bike quality, or you probably won't find them on cruisers, but you'll find them on more professional bikes, is to want your weight to go forward onto the handlebars. And that can create stress on your body that you're not ready for. So this leads to another point. Before you put one nickel into buying a supposedly Bugout bike, you need to do some serious soul searching. Look at yourself right here watching this video and ask yourself, can I get on a bike and ride 20, 30, 40 miles? Can I go the 250 miles that it takes to get to my Bugout location? Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the chances are that answer is no, I can't do that. I'll tell you right now, I personally cannot do that. I've got some health issues, but even before that, I could not jump on this bike, as nice as it really is, and ride 30 miles. I could do 5 miles non-stop. I could do 10 miles with at least one, maybe two stops. So, there's a lot of information out there, and like I said, before you spend one nickel on a bike, or try to pull one out of the old shed and fix it up to make it a bug-out bike, you need to ask yourself, can you physically actually do that? Can you hop on that bike and go? And maybe that money would be better invested somewhere else in your preparations, rather than in something that, to be honest with you, you may very well not use. In my case, I'll take this bike, I'll put it in the back of my truck, and I'll take it with me, so that when I get to my bug out location, I'll have an alternative form of transportation once I get there. But trying to make it all the way there on a bike loaded down, well, I'm just not so sure how much of a viable option that really is. You take a bunch of weight and put it on the back there, which there is a luggage rack up under all that, and it's rated for 125 pounds. But you might put 30 pounds on the bike, on that rack. You might have a trailer which will generate torque and poundage on wheel bearings back there that those wheel bearings were never really intended to handle. So, I'm not, I'm dissing Walmart. Anything coming out of Walmart, you're not going to make a 30-mile trip on. And that's just the bottom line. Most of those Walmart bikes, the companies, Mongoose, Trek, what's the other one? Schwinn. Schwinn's not nearly what it used to be. They have two different parts of their companies. One is the big box store side. The other one is the real side. Those bikes are the ones that you're going to actually want and expect to make it to your bug out location, or even just going back bike packing like I had planned on doing. The big box store side, those are cheap Chinese made things. They're just not going to last. Let's take the Mongoose fat bike that's at Walmart. They have those in there, and to look at them, you would think it's a pretty formidable bike. Problem is, that bike is junk. Mongoose's expert or professional side, excuse me, that's the bike that you want, and it's called the Argus Expert. Well, that's a $1,600 bike. Okay, let that sink in. So if you want to spend that kind of money on a bike, hey man, go for it. I can't. So just do a lot of research before you put any money into anything, and think about just how viable of an option it really is for you. I hope this video has done you some good and made you think a little bit. Feel free to subscribe. I don't post too terribly many videos, but you can click the little bell just in case. And I hope to see you again pretty soon. Have a good day.